Welcome to today's deep dive. Usually when we picture a top-tier medical professional in a crisis, we imagine like this impenetrable fortress of calm,
Right.
a superhero with a permanently low heart rate.
Yeah, but that superhero cape often turns into a really heavy lead blanket the second the shift ends. I mean,
Wow.
the idea of the naturally calm veteran who just never gets rattled is, for the most part, a complete illusion.
Exactly. And that lead blanket is exactly what we are dissecting today. We're doing a deep dive into Dr. Fang Shenkar's Jom Mindful Gym now, and our mission today is to explore this really practical, powerful shortcut to handling intense stress.
Right, and we're looking specifically at one of the most compelling case studies from the text, which is the senior ward sister and the three breaths.
Yeah, let's unpack her story. Because to her junior nurses, this ward sister was, well, she was the absolute rock of the hospital.
Totally. They were constantly in awe of her.
Right. Always saying she was just the calmest person in the room whenever the ward descended into, total chaos. But the hidden reality behind that calm exterior paints a much darker picture.
Yeah, she wasn't naturally unfazed at all. Before adopting this new practice, she was literally carrying the entire ward home with her every single day.
Wow.
She had a perpetually tight chest, her shoulders were rock hard, and she would literally still hear hospital call bells ringing in her head while she was lying in bed at home.
Okay, wait. I have to push back a little bit here, though. Let's unpack this. Isn't carrying that kind of lingering stress just an unavoidable reality of a high-stakes job like nursing?
Why?
Like, it feels like a computer with 100 demanding tabs open that you just never shut down. Of course, the internal fan is going to run hot, right? You can't just turn that off instantly.
I mean, you're right that the demands are unavoidable, but if we connect this to the bigger picture, leaving those tabs open indefinitely is what the text describes as the body shouting before the mind admits it.
Oh, I like that phrasing.
Yeah, it really highlights the necessity of an on-the-go intervention. When you carry the ward home in your muscles, your fight-or-flight response is basically stuck in the on position. And that chronic tension causes severe system wear and tear.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Because she didn't fix those open tabs with, like, a month-long silent retreat.
No, not at all.
She managed them with something as simple as 3 breaths.
Right. But it wasn't just random breathing, and it definitely wasn't about finding some perfectly quiet meditation room. She used breathing contextually. Like she'd take a few highly intentional breaths right before answering an angry relative,
Right.
or maybe immediately after a really tense medication round.
Or even just while washing her hands, she would combine a mindful out-breath with a quick shoulder stretch to just physically release that tension.
Exactly.
It's treating mindfulness like emotional first aid that is totally on demand and on the go, which is, so much more accessible than a rigid hour-long meditation session.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is that she wasn't trying to force herself to be perfectly calm or numb.
Right, people think mindfulness means you just never feel stressed.
Exactly. That's a huge misconception. She was simply using the breath as an anchor to ground herself before reacting to the chaos.
She didn't magically erase the stress of the ward,
No, she just stopped letting it dictate her nervous system.
which perfectly sets up this ultimate takeaway for you listening. When a younger nurse finally asked this sister how she always looked so steady, the sister just smiled and replied, "Not always steady, but I know how to come back."
That is such a powerful reframe. I mean, balance isn't about never losing your footing. It's about knowing exactly how to regain it when the ground shakes.
Absolutely. So we want to leave you with this to mull over today. What phantom call bells are currently ringing in your own life after hours? And what would happen if you paused for just 3 mindful breaths before answering them?